So welcome back to another episode of Stauffer Garage. Today we're going to be detailing this Chevy Silverado 2500, which is a diesel with a duramax transmission, which is awesome, and it is tuned and deleted with the wazoo, so it's extra fun to drive. But we're going to do an exterior wash, we're going to do a spray-on ceramic coating, and then we're going to tackle the interior. And this detail definitely had some bumps along the way, which you guys will see later on as we go through the detail. But before we do that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and give this video a thumbs up. And comment down below, what is the number one truck that you would pick if you could pick any truck out there? Is it an older one or a newer one? Ford, Chevrolet, Dodge, whatever it ends up being, let me know in the comments below. And I hope you enjoy the foam cannon, which is pink this week in today's detail.
Trying to feel the again. I've lost somewhere in my head. I've been out here all on my own, holding tight to the pledge. I'm somewhere near the edge of wishing we never met. I'm scared of being without you. Afraid no one ever know me. I'm out near the edge, and I can't get.
Now when washing the truck, I'm using the 2-bucket method, which is you have one bucket with clean wash water, and then you have a second one with your soapy water, and you use the clean water to rinse your mitt between panels. That way you get all the dirt in that one bucket instead of carrying it into your clean soapy water. But my first issue with today's detail was the fact that my pressure washer kept surging and popping the circuit breaker, so I had to switch to just using the plain old hose to rinse off the soap from the car, which eventually it started working again, but that was the first hiccup of many that happened in this detail. Now with all the soap rinsed off the car, I'm just using my spray-on ceramic coating and a clean microfiber towel to spread it across the paint evenly before rinsing it off again and then drying it with my drying towel, which any of the microfiber towels, detailing brushes, you can pick up at foxclean.com, and I highly recommend you guys do because they are selling out fast, and I get a ton of people saying that this towel is the best towel they have ever used when it comes to drying your truck or car, and you can use this single towel to dry any vehicle, I can guarantee that. So make sure after this video you head over to foxclean.com to pick up yours today. Now, moving on to the inside of the car, it's time to remove all of this stuff from the inside of the vehicle, all the trash, all the debris, all these seat covers, and as you can see, they were quite the task to remove just because of all the clips and everything underneath, but taking these completely out to get a good idea of how dirty these seats are, and as you can see in these shots, they were definitely quite dirty, dusty, greasy, you name it. And while cleaning out the back seats, I did find a friend. This is Mr. Deer. Say hello. If you're new to Stauffer Garage and you haven't seen one of my details before, I pull out the seats in most of my vehicles, pretty much all of them that I detail. And the main reason why is underneath them is tons of trash and debris that gets underneath there. Plus, it makes life a lot easier when you're trying to carpet extract and move around inside the vehicle with those seats pulled out. Now, with all the large stuff removed from the vehicle and it's the vacuuming portion of the detail, I try to do as much vacuuming as possible. Get as much dirt and debris out as a carpet because, one, it puts less strain on your extractor, and two, it's just the easiest bang for your buck when you're trying to clean your vehicle, is just get as much out with your vacuum as possible to make the carpets look as best as you can before you move on to your next steps. Now, for cleaning any of the carpets or seats inside this vehicle, I'm using a concoction of carpet cleaning solution that I spray onto the fabric portions of the seats, and then I use my drill brush to agitate the fibers to get that dirt loosened up for my extractor to suck up. And if you need drill brushes, I also have those on foxclean.com for you guys. These ones are medium stiffness, so they work really well on fabric and carpet and also on leather. I would say that if it's a more soft or a more delicate leather, I would recommend a soft drill brush. But for majority of them that are more of this vinyl type material, they work perfectly fine and they do a great job at removing any dirt or debris that you have stuck to your seats. So not only does that fabric that has that cross hatching change colors, but this is one of my favorite shots of this detail so far, is you can actually see on this front patch the color change from a dark gray to a light gray, and this is actually wet carpet or wet fabric still, and it still looks that much lighter. So it definitely goes to show how dirty these seats were. Now, one thing that happens sometimes when you're detailing seats, depending on how the rails are set up in the seat back, is sometimes you have issues arise like this right here, where the seat tips over and it falls off the table. Luckily, it wasn't damaged, but yeah, this is one of the other issues that happened during this detail that typically nobody talks about because they don't want to be honest about it. Whereas I'll just go ahead and blatantly say that, yep, I definitely dropped the seat. Now this right here is extractor juice at its finest. This is nasty stuff, and it smells wonderful. Now for the next issue that arises in this detail, and I'll play the little sound clip here for you guys at high volume. You'll hear that my extractor has officially decided to croak, and it started sparking, smoking, making all sorts of nasty noises, and this is what it looked like on the inside of the motor. It's burnt, the brushes are completely gone, so it is definitely time for Stauffer Garage to get a new extractor.
Alright, so overnight the seats have been drying, which you can see here that's crazy. Just some carpet lines and you're good, but the seats are completely dried out, which is awesome. And if you guys are wondering, I just have a box fan sitting up on them, blowing air because airflow dries everything. And like I showed you guys, this is done. This is completely toast. You heard that noise that this thing was making, and then it started shooting sparks and it smelled like electrical burning. So my extractor is officially done, but I'm gonna do a DIY one so that way I can hook it up to this guy, which this beast vacuum is 12 gallons. That'll be my new extractor vacuum, but we'll put it all together.
Now what I just built there essentially is combining all of those pieces, you know, the other sprayer as a water tank essentially, using it to spray water through my extractor nozzle, and I'm using the old extractor nozzle from the Sandia and hooking it up to my vacuum, my shop vac. That'll be my wet dry vac to suck up all this extractor fluid. So it seemed to work pretty well. It actually had a lot of suction power, which was nice, but the only problem was I didn't have a way to hook up the pump sprayer to continuously feed water because there's no electric motor pump anymore, and I didn't have the right nozzle to hook it up to my air compressor to cause, you know, create pressure so it always sprays out liquid at a constant level. So between each pass I had to go back and prime and pump the tank. So that was the only downside to this setup, and if I can get an airline fitting hooked up correctly, it might work more efficiently. The only problem is now you have two bulky things that you're carrying around, and it's pretty cumbersome. So I used it for the inside carpets, and it did a decent job to get the job done for today. But I would say this is more of a temporary DIY solution if you don't want to spend the money. But if you do this more frequently, I would highly recommend picking up, you know, a full-blown extractor, which I will certainly be doing here very shortly. Now for all these interior panels in the car, I'm just using my all-purpose cleaner and my Fox Clean detailing brushes and microfiber towels to scrub every nook and cranny, wipe them clean, and then I'm also using my drill brush on these carpet inserts towards the bottom to clean those carpets up and then wipe them with a microfiber towel to pull out any of that dirt and debris. But I will say that the back carpets in this truck did not get extracted because the extractor setup that I created and DIY'd, it wasn't cutting it, and it was taking so much time to get them clean because of the nozzle sprayer. It just wasn't efficient enough to get the job done. I was going to spend probably 3 or 4 more hours just on the carpet. So if you're doing spot treatment and you want to make that setup, I definitely recommend it. But if you're trying to do full-blown details, just gotta go full-blown extractor. It's going to make your life so much easier and save you a ton of time.
I've been feeling hopeless till you came around. All this time, you're the only reason I'm not chasing highs. What is love? Lately I've been wondering just what is love? I don't know. No one ever showed me I've been on my own for too long. But if you hold me now, let me into your heart. Maybe I can start to love again and tend to my scars. Can you show me how? Can you love me with all you've got? 'Cause I just wanna come alive.
Now, if anybody's interested in all the parts that I used for that DIY extractor, I might have to write something up if you guys are interested. So let me know in the comments below if you guys want to get that parts list or see more in-depth detail on the setup. I can put that on IG, or I can do some stories or some shorts here on YouTube. But if you guys haven't subscribed, smash that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on those notifications for any new videos that do come out. And also, like I said, head over to foxclean.com. I have a coupon code in the description box below for you guys to use. And make sure you pick up those detail and supplies, and I'll see you guys next week.